Welcome back. I think this is part 10. I know it's been a big delay in this series that we're doing on the card game. I did identify why we were having some issues in the last episode, and we'll get to that. But before we do, there's just one quick thing I want to do to make it a little bit easier for us to identify which user is what. So we're just going to create a new canvas here. All right, we're just going to call this debug canvas. And I'm just going to add text mesh UI here. And I'm just going to lock it up in the top left. So I'm holding Alt-Shift, locking it up in the top left. And let's just, we'll leave it locked there. And I'll just put some margins on the left of like 10. And on the top of like 10. And then maybe just a little bit smaller. And we're going to call this player? ? Okay. And so what we'll do is, when we make our connection and we instantiate our player, what's our player doing? Let's go ahead and take this debug text, and I'm going to call it debug text. And I'm going to put an Fsm on this. And so when it gets started, my actions panel's on my other screen. We're going to set game object. Not game volume, but game object. And we're going to create a new global variable called debug text. And then the game object is going to be itself. And so now if we go into our player, which is where? Card game demo, resources, card player. This must be where we figure out our player number. Yeah, get player number, players in room, convert string, pun, get set, pun, set property, empty state, and we'll also do build string, 2 parts. First part will be player, and second part is going to be player count. And then we are going to set this as our player count debug string. And then we're going to set text mesh pro GUI text. And we're going to specify it as the global variable debug text. And we go player count debug string. So now if we come back over here, if we hit play, why you no work? Oh, because of my success event. All right, so we'll come over here and we'll go back to the card player, go back to Playmaker. We'll just put it in the empty state. I mean, it's there, it's not empty anymore. Oh, not just the build string, but this guy. And we'll just use this as the state description. And we'll go back. And so now if we hit play, this will show up in the top left with the player number, hopefully. Boom, player 1. Oh, I didn't put a space. Oh, well, I'll live with it. All right, cool. So let's talk about where we were getting stuck last time. So there's something that Playmaker does on pointer events and UI events. So if we come in here and our card player, is it in here? Player deck, card slot. So on UI pointer down. So I actually thought I fixed this. I didn't fix this. I'm actually put the wrong thing. Is it only on this slot? Yeah. So let me remove this. All right, so what should be happening is whenever you create one of these global UI events, it should be automatically adding a component over here. Because these global Playmaker events, they don't really do anything without something sending the global events. So this UI pointer down, it's working in the editor because the editor's just smarter. But on build, it's not. On build, it's like, I don't know what this is. What's happening here? So we need to, on all of these card slots, we need to add the component UI pointer events. And then we need to add target FSMs. Not sure if it'll let me do this on multiple at a time. It won't. So I got to go into each one of these, which I should have made these prefabs. Fail on my part. And I need to grab the highlighted selected card FSM and drag it in. All right, so I'm going to pause. Ooh, I figured it out on the other ones. See that? Look at that. I figured it out on the other ones. I don't have to drag all the other ones in. Great. All right. So I guess what we can do now is let's just build and run and see what happens. All right, so as you can see, we have 4 players here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and shuffle and let's deal. All right, everyone has their cards. I'm gonna go player 1, click, boom, 6 of clubs. Let's try Jack of diamonds, 8 of hearts, 3 of clubs. So far, so good. I think our players can play out of order if we want to. Like if I want to go 10 of hearts again, I can. I'm not messing with that type of logic today. Can I show all? No, I got to set my, oh well. So let's try 8 of spades. See, my editor can always do it, but why are my other ones getting stuck? See, it's always stuck on that 6 there. If I come down here to like this Jack of spades, it's going to do the Jack of diamonds again. Watch. Boom. Why? If I come down here and click Ace of diamonds, that one's highlighting. It's placing the Ace of diamonds. Jack of spades, Jack of diamonds again. 6 of hearts, 6 of clubs. 4 hearts is working. So whatever gets highlighted actually works. But only slot 1 and slot, what is that, 7 are working. So that's strange. Let's dig into that. All right, so what could be going on? So card slot 1, UI pointer down. It's going to set it as yellow. And it's going to set the FSM int of the card player, the FSM name play card, the variable selected card, to index value. Where are we getting that index value from? Oh, I bet I know what the issue is. So the index value should be unique for each one of these cards. And I bet it's not. Well, that says index 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's working. And that's all we're doing is we're setting the graphic color of the owner. So why isn't it setting the graphic color of the owner to all the others, though? It doesn't make any sense. What if I just go ahead and activate this canvas? Oh, I can't. If I go to scene view here and activate this canvas, all right? Let me go ahead and activate slot 4's image. And because what it's doing is it's setting the graphic color of the owner. Yeah, graphic color of the owner to yellow. So, I mean, the logic should be working here. Let me pause so we're not having 15 minutes of me figuring this out. All right, so I don't know how this happened, but I still had my drag events on some of these. So they didn't all get removed. So I'm going to go remove these drag events. You probably saw it on the recording and I missed it. I thought everything was there that it should be, but I still have all these drag events. And I'm like, oh, it automatically populated the pointer events, but it didn't. So I'm going in and I'm getting rid of, see, this one's got pointer events twice, which we don't need. All right, so now slot 1's there. Slot 2 is not. So if I take this and drag it into targeted FSMs, we're good. Take this, targeted FSMs. 4, take this, target FSMs. 5, take this, target FSMs. 6, take this, target FSMs. 7, it's already there. Okay, so let's do a build and run and see if that worked. All right, so I have 3 open here. 1, 2, 3. All right, so if we go to player 1, let's shuffle the deck. Let's deal the deck. There's everything. Player 1's playing here. Player 2, maybe want to grab this one, play there. All right, it's working now. All right, beautiful. Player 3 will play that one. Let's play this King of Spades over here. All right, it's looking good. It's looking good. So what's next now? So in our milestones, on build, cards don't highlight or click. We fixed that. And on build can only place 1 card, fixed that. And I think placing a card has also been fixed. Well, we're not done with that yet because we need to make the cards disappear. All right, so let me close all these. Let's go back into Unity. When we place a card, we need to do what? So let's go into our card player. Here's our hand panel. So on our card slot, on pointer down, it's highlighted. And then on the discard pile, we're playing a card. I gotta review. How is it the other players are seeing what I'm putting in the discard pile? All right, so quick review. So when I click my discard pile, this FSM's on the actual card player. When I click my discard pile, it's getting from the cards in hand the FSM array item selected card. And so this selected card variable is actually being set by each card slot whenever we do pointer down. So my discard one here, this play card event. Oh, this is the RPC receipt. That's what's happening here. This is actually receiving the RPC. All right, I'm good now. Okay, so what we then need to do is on... It's going to get a little bit more complicated because what's happening is we are telling the player what card has been selected, but it's telling us the index of that card in the potential cards that are in a deck. What it's not telling us is which card is actually doing the sending. But this shouldn't be a problem because in our example, the other players don't see your hand, so you don't need to send an RPC for this. We just need to know that whenever we're clicked and we click the discard pile, we need to clear the sprite. Let me pause while I think a minute. Okay, so what we're actually doing on the pointer down is we are getting the index, not of what the card is representative of in the deck, but we're actually getting the index of the hand. So card slot 1 is index 0 because it's card slot A, I guess, in the hand, so it's index 0. So we're setting that on the card player in the play card FSM. So then if we click the discard pile, we are then getting the FSM array item cards in hand, the selected card, which would be index 0 if we had picked the first one. And then it's getting its property ID, and it's sending that to the others so they know which sprite to display. But then we can just go ahead and... do we deactivate the card slot? Or do we disable its sprite? I don't think we deactivate the card slot because the card slots are always on. So I think we're just going to deactivate the sprite. So for example, let me lock this FSM and if I were to take this, so we can just set visibility 0 probably. So let's, we're getting the FSM array item selected card. So now we can just set visibility. I think this works with 2D. It might not. Set visibility of the selected card. This shouldn't be a global. what did we say this as? We're getting the FSM array item. Oh, index selected card, type, object type. We're getting the FSM array item of cards in hand in the FSM. Oh, okay, no, that's different. So we need to get the FSM game object. Pausing. So we're actually in the player. I'm in the cards in hand FSM. And so we have our array, but our array is of scriptable objects. So on this, we're actually just holding our scriptable objects that has our cards values. So we're not actually keeping track of the game objects. So have I made this too complicated on myself? So if we come back here and we have play card and we say we click on the discard pile, we're getting the FSM array item selected card. So what we could then do here is based on the index. Let's lock this. If we go to our card, because these are just variables. And I'm not sure why they're even here. I don't know why we know what card slots we are. But at some point we should know which, because we know that we're setting the FSM int selected card values here, but we also want to set game objects. Let's do that. So let's come over here to which variable are we sending it to? Oh shoot, I really should have made these templates. I'm hating myself. So on pointer down, we are setting the FSM int play card selected card. So we need to come up here. We're gonna go play card. We need a variable of, we have selected card, but we need a game object, and we need selected card game object. All right. So if we come back here, whenever we do this, we need to set FSM game object. And what we're going to do is we're setting it to the card player. And the FSM name is play card. The variable name is selected card game object. And the value we're going to set is, I'm going to make this easier on myself for when I copy and paste this FSM to others. I want to get owner. And so that's just getting the game object it's on. And I'm just going to call this owner. All right, that way I can just come in here and I can just now say set value owner. And I'm going to have to change all these index values. I don't know why I have these inputs here. It must be something old I did that I'm not using anymore. If you remember, put in the comments so I can know why I even have those there. Because we've been doing this for weeks. So we're going to copy this. I could save this as a template now. Let's do that. Let's save this as a template. Let's call this FSM templates. And we're calling this highlight selected card. And are we going to use this template? Yes. And there we go. So now if I go over to all of these, I can remove them all. And now I need to go into each one and I need to add FSM, use template, no category, highlight selected card. This one. Add FSM, use template, no category, highlight selected card. In this one, we're going to add FSM, use template, no category, highlight selected card. Then this one, add FSM, use template, no category, highlight selected card. 2 left. Add FSM, use template, no category, highlight selected card. And then add FSM, use template, no category, highlight selected card. Could have saved a whole lot of time if I made these prefabs anyways from the get-go, and then I wouldn't have had to do all this. But now I need to go in, because I'm now using a template, my pointer event is like, what the heck are we doing now? And so I need to drag this there. And in card slot 2, I need to drag this there. Nope. Undo. I need to drag this there. And in 3, I need to drag this there. In 4, I need to drag this there. In 5, I need to drag this there. And in 6, I need to drag this there because our FSM changed. That's why we do it. We're doing this. And then I need to go and change my index value for all of these. So this is index 0. And if I come here, that's index 1. If we come here, that's index 2. If we come here, that's index 3. If we come here, that's index 4. If I come here, that's index 5. If I come here, that's index 6. So why did I switch this to a template? Well, what if I want to come in here and I want to change something else again? For instance, I didn't finish doing this. Oh, shoot. That's why I had all these card slots. Because I needed to know... Oh, shoot. I'm going to pause while I kick myself in the teeth. Y'all hate me, don't you? Okay, so what we're going to do now is let's look for an action for children. Because we can array list get children of a game object. We might do that. Or we can do siblings. Not here. Let's see what's in the ecosystem for siblings. Because those are the other children of the hand panel besides yourself. So let's do sibling search. Has sibling, get game object sibling. What's all in this guy? Starting from the owner. Store results. What if I do get siblings? If I add an S, do I get anything different? No. So what we're going to do is we are going to we're going to get rid of all of these guys. Yes, except for the index value. Let's keep that there. Okay, so templates, if I haven't talked about it in this series, is kind of like having a prefab for an FSM. So you can change the FSM, and every game object that's using the FSM is also going to be updated at the same time. But because it acts like a prefab, you can't reference things in the hierarchy, so you have to source them somehow, find them somehow. So we're going to have a new start state. Add global transition UI on pointer down. Well, the start state is staying the same. Start state doing anything, it's getting the owner. Okay, so what we're going to do is on UI pointer down, we're going to make this really clever. I probably don't need to do this much, but I can say get parent of the owner, and we're going to store it as parent. All right, so no matter how many card slots you have in your hand panel, it's going to know what the hand panel is, and it's going to know what itself is. All right, so we're getting all those jazz. So on pointer down, what we're going to do is we're going to get children. We're going to array list get children of game object. And so we're not getting the children of the owner because that's this card slot. We want to get the children of the parent. And the reference of this array list is card slots. All right. What is this? The parent game object. Oh, this is the game object that's going to have the list on it. And this is also going to be the parent. So we probably don't need to do this logic on each card I'm pointing out because that's going to be a lot. So what we can do instead is rather than array list get children of game object, let's just make an array list. So on the hand panel itself, Let's put in FSM. And let's get card slots. This will make it for if you ever decide to add more cards in your hand or something. I don't know. Let's add a component. And this is going to be an array, Playmaker array list proxy. So if we haven't covered this in this series, you can make lists with Playmaker but it's not the same as lists that are in C#. I mean, it is the same, but it works different. So you have to get Array Maker from the ecosystem. So Playmaker, add-ons, ecosystem browser. All right, and so if we come up here and I search Array Maker, I think it's 2 words. And then I want to filter, and I want to search by packages. Search again. Array Maker, 1 word. There it is. Okay. There it is. That shouldn't work. But okay, the package, that's what you want. Get that. All right. So now we're going to make this card slots because that's what our card slot 1 is saying is the name of the list, but we haven't done it yet. All right. So what we want our hand panel to do is on start, I want to array list, get children of game object. We're going to put them in our card slots list, and I am the parent. I'll go ahead and include inactive, but don't include the parent. Sorry, my nose itches. All right, so at game start, it's going to automatically find all the potential card slots we have. Not really necessary if you have a predetermined number of card slots for a hand, but still kind of cool idea to throw in here. All right, so we know now that our parent already has those items. So we can use array list get next. And we want to do it on our parent. What? I have a humidifier in here. My nose is getting super itchy. I don't know why. And the reference is card slots. And what we're going to do is we're going to call this a loop. All right. And then when it's done, we'll also do a finished event. Add transition, finished, finished. All right. And so what we're going to do in our loop, and we'll just go ahead and bring you over here, is we are going to set image. How did we do it before? UI graphics set color. I'm just going to steal it, and I'm just going to go like that. All right, and then specify the game object. Well, we need to save it. So we need to save the result. So, I need to say what type it is. It's just a game object. And we're going to store the result as result. And so in here, we're going to do it to the result, and we're going to change the color back to white. All right, so F2 copy, we're doing UI graphics set color, and then add transition, finish, and it'll come back, and it'll get the next card in the list. All right, and then when it is done, we shall finish, and now we can UI graphics set color of the owner to yellow. And what other logic do we need here? We don't need that anymore, or that, or that, or that, or that. And so now we need to set the FSM int. This is where things are going to get a little bit. So we need to know who our card player is. So this is where FSM templates can get a bit wonky, but we should already know who our card player is, because we probably saved our card player as a global variable. To confirm, we can come back here, Playmaker Photon Proxy, go to my connection FSM, instantiate the player, boom, local player. So that's a global variable, right? Yeah. So if I go back into my card player, and I go to Playmaker, we're back on our card slot, look at the template. So we need, oh, look at that, now it's totally missing. So we're gonna take both of these. Oh wait, we're not getting the card player. Now we're getting, we should be able to reference from the hierarchy now. No, because the template, oh my gosh. This will be fine too. What we're gonna do is on our start state, we're going to get root. All right, what get root does is it goes all the way up the hierarchy until you hit the topmost parent you can get. And so unless our child, or unless our player becomes a child of something else, our player will always be the root. So I am now just going to store this as our... Well, I could have used the variable. I could still use the global variable. I should still be able to use the global variable. I don't even need to do that. Let's go ahead and take both of these and put them in this state. And we're done with this. I should still be able to use the global variable. So globals, local player, because the local player is the card player. And so this should work. Globals, local player. Now, sometimes it gets a bit wonky because since I didn't type these in and I had selected them before, sometimes it's a good idea to go ahead and hand type these again in the templates. Just make sure you type it exactly correct. Selected card, play space card, selected card game object. All right, so now what are we doing? We're setting color to yellow. To yellow. And set play card values. All right, it's a pretty long state name, but it tells us what's going on in this one. All right, so that's on UI pointer down. It's going to loop through the list that's on the hand panel, and it's going to make sure everybody turns white again. And then once that's finished, it should come down here, and we're going to set the color of the card we selected to yellow. And then it's going to set the game object of the play card, selected game object, to itself. So basically, we've completely changed our logic, but it's doing the exact same thing that we were already doing. So now what we want to do is go back to our card player and go to play card. It's going to get the card to play, and we should now know what our selected card game object is. We now want to set visibility. I think this works on UI objects. Of our selected card game object. We don't want to reset it on exit. All right. So if I build and run this, when we play cards, it should make them disappear. Let's build and run. All right, so, oh shoot, I just lost all my thingies. 3, 2, 1. All right, so player 1, shuffle, deal. There's everybody's cards. How did this happen again? The first slot works. Okay, everything but the middle slot? Why is everything but the middle slot working? All right, let's look at player 4, canvas, hand panel, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this slot. Pointer events, card slot 4, FSM. I bet you work here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Yeah, of course you work here. What's different about this one? Oh, we didn't add, me did not add the template. All right, well, I'm not going to rebuild all of it. I mean, I guess for you, it takes just seconds. I'll stop. I'll fix it. Let me close all these guys. So what I did wrong, maybe you didn't do it wrong. Card player, slot 4. We need to remove this one, and then we need to go to Playmaker, and we need to add FSM, use template, no category, highlight selected card, and then drag it into the pointer events. So now we should be good. All right, I'm going to pause, build, and run. Okay, so shuffling, dealing, Middle card works. Great. All the cards are highlighting and not highlighting. 4 clubs, place it in the middle. Didn't work. Why didn't I test that before building? I could have tested it in like some other way. So set visibility cannot be used. So let's come over here. 2 of clubs, boink. That doesn't work. Because if we come in here, it should be on the player, right? Playing card, get card to play, set visibility of card slot 4. It's toggling it, but what it's looking for is it's looking for a material, and that's not really what it is. It's this image. So we could set I'll look. All right, so I could look for a way to set the property and disable the image, but I think what we'll do is, well, first we got to delete this set visibility. And what we'll do is we'll just do UI graphics set color, and we're going to set color of the selected card game object, and we don't care about the color. We're not going to set the color. What we're going to do is we're going to set the alpha. So we'll set the alpha to 0, and that should do what we want to do. So build and run again. And we're back. Player 3, player 2, player 1, player 4. Player 1's gonna shuffle and deal. Let's take this, place it there. Done. Let's take this one, place it there. Take this one, place it there. Take this one, place it there. Cool. So we're placing cards. I really don't want to have any more episodes in this series. So the one last thing that we're gonna do, so this is going to be a little bit longer of an episode because I want number 10 to be it and done, is let's draw a card. All right, so if we go to our milestones here, and we can place a card. So now we're going to draw a card. And then we're calling this quits on this. Let me close all my other windows and come back here. Okay, so what we need to do now is card player. We have the player's deck. So we didn't do a shared deck. So that would be a bit more complicated, I guess, but similar logic. So let's look at the deck here. The deck has no logic, but it does have all the potential cards, right? So it's got 52 cards. So I think what we did is, even though the deck is the player's own deck on its own canvas, I think we set it up to where whatever's on one is on the others, right? So let's check. So if we go to card player and we do I'm so confused. What happens when we hit play? All right, so here we have our player. And the player deck is just an empty game object. There's our canvas with the hand panel. There's my discard pile, discard card. So, oh, the deck is its own canvas. Okay. There we go. There's our deck. And this gets instantiated for all the players. So the deck that the player has is just a reference so that we can know like all the potential cards a player could have. So that we can find where a specific card's info is. Okay. So when it starts, it's waiting for the buttons and whatnot. And so then we're done. When we deal, dealing is complete. All right, and I just recently started working with a team, and a guy I was working with, they don't do big old loop FSMs. Instead, what they do is they do straight lines, and oh my goodness, I wish I'd been doing that forever. It just makes it so much easier to see what's going on, right? Start to finish, dealing is complete. All right, so you're going straight down, And if I need to step out and do something, loop back in. But when I have a process, I'm now doing everything vertically. It's so much easier to see what's going on. I just love this so much more. All right, so once dealing is complete, let's create a new FSM. And this is going to be our drawing FSM. And then we're going to add a state, and we're going to add a global transition with UI events on UI pointer. We don't even need UI pointer down. It could be, because is our deck a button? It is. So it could be add global transitions, system events, UI events. I could do pointer down, or we're going to do a custom event, and we're going to call it draw. We're going to add a global transition draw. We're going to go to the event, make sure it's a global event, and then we come back to the deck. We look at the button, and we're going to use Unity's built-in button event feature, and we're going to click plus, and then we're going to drag our drawing FSM in here to this field. And normally what you would do is you would drag a script in here, and then this would be all the methods you could call from that script. But for us, we're going to Playmaker FSM, and we're going to send the event. What is the name of the event we're sending? It is draw. So now anytime this button is clicked, the deck button, which looks like that, this event's going to trigger. Okay. Multiplayer game. So this is owned by the scene, I imagine. So our deck canvas, so deck, we're going to need to apply. Let's go ahead and apply the overrides. And I'm going to just now go into my deck. All right, good. So now what happens when someone draws? So we need to is there a way to know when I draw? I need to know, I don't need to know my actor number. Maybe. Let's get actor number. Get player. We should have a global variable, don't we, of what player we are? Playmaker, editor windows, global variables. It's down here. There's local player. This is telling us who player one's game object is. I don't remember what pin int is. Let's refresh. It's not being currently used. That's probably for it's probably something else. Yeah, it's a different project. Not a different project, but a different scene in here. So we should let's go here. So we're back in the main scene. We'll go to the connection. When we instantiate the player, the local player, let's do one more thing, and let's add transition finished. And let's get owner actor number. No, we don't need to do that. Pause while I think. Unpausing. Okay, so if we go into our project, let me go back up here because I'm going to undo what I was doing. Delete that. And delete that transition. Let's go back into our player. And if we look right here, we set player custom property of player count. We know our player count, what player number we are. So if I go back here and we go to our deck, on drawing, let's just go ahead. We need to know who drew. So we're going to player custom get player property. I don't think I have it here. I create a custom action. Let's just go assets, import new asset. Let's see, Mr. Philip Joel's custom playmaker actions. Photon network get custom property. Okay. So that's here now. Apparently it already existed. Oh, because I've imported it before. All right, I'll delete it then. Come on. All right, deck, Playmaker, Photon network get custom property. Okay. Of the local player, I want to get the custom property. Geez, what is it? Here. No, it's in project. It's in Dagnabbit. Why did that happen? Ultimate resources, card player, Playmaker. It is player count. Just gonna copy that. Go back to the project. Go back to deck. Go to Playmaker. Go to drawing. I want to get the custom property player count, and let's save it as player count. Really, it would be a whole lot simpler if I just saved it as a global variable. Doing that. All right, project, card player, Playmaker. We set that. Let's also set string and new global variable, player count. And the string value is player count string. Did we build a string? How did we get that? We're getting the players in the room. We're converting. So it's just a number. All right. So we're not doing player or whatever. It's just a number. Okay. Let's keep that in mind. It's just a number. Go to the deck, Playmaker, drawing. So I already know who I am. So yeah, our deck should have, doesn't. Shouldn't our deck have, it's in our deck canvas, isn't it? Wait a minute. Deck, Playmaker, drawing, deck. If you shuffle, we're array shuffling the deck of cards. Oh. I made it an array. Okay. Let's make it an input. Okay. I didn't do it in a list. Wish I'd done a list. But I'm not going to change it up now. List would have been easier, I think. So when we draw, we want to... Oh, I remember what I was going to do. Because we already dealt. So let's go look at our dealing. All right, so when we dealt, we are getting the index 0. We're getting the next index. We are deleting that index. We're getting the property of that top card. We're getting the view ID of the current player. We're building a string. We're broadcasting the event of take card. Wow. All right. I didn't think I was that smart. So what we're going to do is we can steal at some of that same logic. So we need to do the same thing. So we want to array get index 0. All right. So array, we're just going to copy, come over to drawing rather than me have to use my brain. Okay. We're going to array get the top card. Go back to the deck. What's it do when it gets the top card? It's now going to delete the array at the top card. And then it's getting the property, some property from a top card. It's getting its ID. And then we are getting the photon view of the current player. How did we get the current player? Where's that variable come from? Is that a global? Should that be a local player? No, it's a local variable. Oh, it's originally I had planned of players going in order, and I don't think I ever set up that logic. Oh no, it's the dealing. The dealing is doing that. Right? because there's a player array. Okay, so I'm not worried about that. So we're drawing. And so what we're going to do is we are going to get the property of the card. So we know our card. And now we need to how did we do this over here? Resetting the player array, array shuffle, deck of cards, shuffle button, array set, array set, array set. So we set the player's array. So we don't need to do that. Somewhere we know who all the players are. So let me just do get game object. I'm not going to use it. It's weird. There we go. Store globals. Yeah, we know who player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4 is. So we want to... I would love to be able to broadcast an FSM event to a game object, but I don't think it works. Because did we do that in the deck at all? Give to current player. Yeah, so we had to broadcast all. So... in drawing, we're going to then build string. I need a game object thing again. You know what? It's up here. Playmaker, editor windows, global variables. It's lowercase. Okay, so I need to build this string back. So it's only going to have 2 parts. And it's going to be player. And then the global variable player count. So if it's player 1, it's going to be player 1, player 2, player 2, blah, blah, blah. Don't need to add anything to the end. And we're storing this as our player string. So, spoiler alert, we're going to be sending this ID, int, and this player string. We're going to be building those as a string that we send in RPC. All right, and so now we're going to broadcast RPC FSM event. All targets. I need to build string again. And this is going to be 2 pieces. And the first piece is going to be the player string. And the second piece is going to convert the card ID. Let's separate it by a comma. And this is going to be our RPC string. And we should be able to use the same... What event are we using over here? We're using the take card event. Can we still use that? Let's go look at that logic. Card player, playmaker... cards in hand. If we take card, we're going to split the string. So the first string we're sending, though, is the RPC view ID. So I got the RPC view ID instead. Oh, but I don't want to do that. I'm just going to do something different. I'm going to do take card. Let's call this... Do we have a draw card event anywhere? Just to be safe, I'm going to call this take card 2. Okay. Add global transition, take card 2. And we are going to... I gotta go back to the deck. Playmaker. Drawing. And... the RPC string is the player string, card ID. So the remote event we're going to do is a global event, take card 2, and the string data is our RPC string. So we should be done here. So now our player needs to do something. So let's go back here to card player. And in the cards in hand, we're going to do take card. And we're gonna do something similar to this. So we're gonna get this, we're gonna get that, copy, paste actions. So we're getting the event string data, we're splitting it up into RPC string array, and then we're going to array get at index 0 of the RPC string array. We're going to store this value. This is now the game object name. We're going to call this RPC name. Okay? Because it's going to be player 1, player 2, player 3. I got to hit play real quick. Oh, is there a space there? Dang it, there's a space. Okay, we have to come back to our deck. Playmaker, drawing, draw. We're going to build a string. This needs to be player space. And we should be good now. Go back to the deck. So now we go to the player. Cards in hand, taking the card. All right, so this is our RPC name. And so now we're going to get the name of our owner, which is our card player, which when he instantiates our player name. So we want our, really? I can't get the owner? That's silly. All right, drop that in there, and we're going to store the name as this. And let's string compare. We're going to string compare this to RPC name. If it's equal, then take the card. If it's not equal, I'm just going to say, don't take card. The reason we have to do this is every single player is going to, every single game object in the whole world is going to, the whole world of our game is going to receive this RPC if it's got this event. And so we need to make sure that the each player only assigns this card to the right player's hand. Complicated. All right, so we're gonna take the card. This is a bool, isn't it? Yeah, we don't need to store that. So if that's all good, let's take the card. And so how did we do that before? So we're gonna array get the index. So it was putting them in order. So somehow we need to know what the visibility is. This is gonna be so long. All right, let's go ahead and rename this real quick to take card. So what we should do now is we need to add. So what we were doing over here is we were getting the next index in the hand. And it was also getting the next hand child. And we were also setting the card in this array here. So we can do that. We can array list. Let's concatenate joins too. We don't want to do that. I just want to make sure that sort do. That's not going to help. Let's just add to it. So let's just add. Before we do that, we need to find the scriptable object for the ID that we have. How did we do that before? So we're getting the FSM array item from this guy. Copy. All right, so we're getting this. And the ID that we're getting, we didn't get it yet. So we need to array get index 1. I tried typing that whole thing in there. Oh, sorry. So we need to get array get from the RPC string array index 1. This is going to be card ID. And we want to search. We want to get the FSM array item card ID. We're storing it as the card. And now we want to array a list add. Oh, it's not array list add. It's just array add. We want to array add cards in hand. We want to add the value of the card. And it's in our array. But then we also want to get property of the card. And the property we want is the card sprite. We want its sprite, and we're going to save it as card sprite. And so now, in our hand panel, we're going to do an interesting loop. There's probably a much better way to do this. Let's do get next child. But we're going to come down here. Add transition finished. We'll copy this, put it in state so we know what it's called. We're going to get the next child of the hand panel. Let's store it as next child. And let's loop. And we're going to, in this loop, we want to get graphic, UI graphic, get color. But we want to know the alpha. It's not an option for that. So add-ons, ecosystem, alpha. There's going to be a gazillion things. We can get color. Sprite color RGBA, but that's not going to be the same as get image. Get graphic. Nothing. What about just graphic? Nothing. Search alpha again. I don't think getting the sprite color will work. What if I just search image? And get the texture. You know what? I'm just going to do this. I want to get component of the next child. And the component that I want is, apparently we've done this before, the card image component. Great. Okay. And then we want to get property. Get property of the card image component. And the property we want is in the color. And we want the alpha. So we're doing this, calling this alpha. And then we're going to float compare. And if the alpha is equal to or less than 0, we are going to then set the sprite. If it's not, if it's greater than, then we're just going to finish. We're going to go back. All right, so if this finishes, we're actually going to have an error. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I don't always do that. I'm just going to put it up here. And we're just going to debug log. Send a Unity log. And this is going to be a warning. Looping cards in hand resulted in error. All right. Let's go ahead and set that color to red. You know what? Let's delete that, and let's just call this error. And we'll do link color red. All right, so once then we are doing it, now we can set the sprite. So set image sprite. And even though we were getting the component, we should know the next child. So we can go here, specify next child, and the sprite we want is the card sprite. All right, I don't think this is going to be perfect yet, but let's see what happens. We're going to build and run. All right, let's see how this goes. I mean, really, I don't have to use player 1, but I'm just going to. Start with player 1. Let's shuffle. Let's deal. And really, I never did set an RPC to remove the buttons from everybody else. All right, so now if I take this 7 of hearts and I place it, can I now draw? No. All right, I can come over here, 10 of clubs, place it. And what if I try drawing from the deck? So I'm player 4. Player deck. No, it's here. Deck canvas. Deck. Drawing. Oh, you know what? I was going to disable this and then re-enable once I clicked. So, man, that stinks because clicking this does nothing. And the reason is because I don't own that. Because if we come over here, well, it's not a photon view. So there's the deck. There's the button. Why would I not be able to click on this button? I don't understand. It's not sending this event. There's all the deck of cards. Oh, it's also not shuffled. Oh no, that's the potential deck, right? So yeah, let's collapse the deck. There's drawing. I'm not sure why that has a deck of cards in it too. Well, let's just pretend the button worked. Let's alt click. All right, so I drew. So what happened? So it's getting, it doesn't have the player count. So there's an issue. It's not getting the player count for some reason. Shouldn't that be a global variable? How did it end up being a local variable? He says. I'm going to hit play without building again. And let's just expand this, go to our connection, and we're going to cheat. Where's my cheat? Alt click. Okay, so clicking on, oh, that's not going to do anything. Shuffle, deal. All right, it's got an error, but just continue on. All right, so my deck. Why would I not be able to click on this deck? I mean, you can see that it's showing something. Drawing. The FSM is on, isn't it? Oh. Did you catch it? Let's try again. Oh, why am I trying again? It's silly. Don't try again. Let's go into our deck. And the issue is I put the deck in there. You put drawing in there. Playmaker, FSM, send event string, draw. All right, so now if I hit play, all right, where's our cheat? Cheat, shuffle, deal, ignore the error. So now if I come here to deck, to drawing, if I click the deck, you've got to be kidding me. It's sending the event. It is sending the event draw. It's saying it's a deck again. What? Oh, the game object is deck. All right. Well, here's what we're going to do instead. Apparently we can't trust that. And I'm going to go in here. And I'm going to go to here. And I'm going to go to here. And I'm going to go to there. And I'm going to go here. And I'm going to go button click event. Send event. Click. You're going to do the thing. And then I'm going to add it. I'm going to do a wait. Because I don't want it to accidentally click itself 1,000 times. And we'll wait half a second. And we'll finish. Finish. Okay. Come back. Hit play. Connecting this. We're going to pretend like 4 players are here. We're going to shuffle. We're going to deal. We're going to ignore the error by hitting plus. And then I should probably play a card first. Come back up here to the deck. Let's look at drawing. So if I click this button, you are... Wait, it should still work. It shows the owner. The owner is the button. Deck. There, it worked. I had to click twice. Click. Okay, so it's working. Oh, and that variable thing's jacked up. So we'll come back here. We're going to the deck. We're going to Playmaker. We're going to drawing. We're coming here. We should be getting the player count, but why is the player count a local variable? It should not be. What we want is we want to use the global player count to build the string. Going back, hitting, not pause, hitting play. Going down here. Pretend like all the players are here. Shuffle and deal. Undo the error. Let's place a card. Let's hit deck. It did it. Player count. Oh. Because I skipped. When I instantiated the host, I need to, when I no, what? Project, card player, Playmaker. You're going to set the custom property count. How did I thought I fixed that already. All right. I needed to move it above the success event. It's skipping the success event and actually saving it as the global. I'm sorry if I'm going too fast. I'm just aggravated now. What am I doing? here. Send it. Shuffle. Deal. Ignore the error. Place a card. Draw a card. You drew. You aren't getting the player count. Why? Oh, wait, why? We built the string, player count string. We got players in room, which is 1. We converted it to a string. We came here and we set the string value of the global player count to 1. Player count string is 1. Playmaker. Editor windows. Global variables. Player count. Value 0. Why? Why are you 0? I don't understand. Let's do something else. Project, card player, Playmaker. We're getting the players in the room. You're converting it to a string. Let's do this. Then I want you to set this global variable. Globals, player count. I want you to set that to the player count string. If we convert the int of 0 to player count string, we're going to set the string value, add transition, finish. Then you can do all this other stuff. Play. I'm hungry. I want to take a lunch. There's my player. Set string value, player count string. We're setting the player count of 1. Player count string is 1. Player 1. Playmaker. Editor windows. Global variables. Maybe this doesn't tell us live. Maybe it doesn't tell us live. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe it's just not being live. All right, so it's telling us that it's got it. All right, let's come over here. Let's do this. Let's shuffle. Let's deal. Let's ignore that. Let's place the queen, which it placed 1,000 different cards for some reason. You see that? What happened there? It's weird. I'm going to ignore that mess for now. Deck. There's nothing more frustrating than when something doesn't work that should be working. We're just going to do this. Card player. Gosh, I don't know. Deck, Playmaker, drawing, why can't I trust the global variable? This is just killing me. I'm going to make a new start state. This is ridiculous. And I'm going to get player photon network, get custom property. This is ridiculous. Of the local player. The property key, I don't remember. Player count. Is this just a number? I don't remember. Is it just a number? Player count. Custom properties. Player count. I'm just going to hit play first and see how this does. So here, instantiate the deck. So I come up here to deck canvas. If I go to deck, if I go to drawing, okay, we know the customer's custom, the player's custom property of 1. Okay, so that works. This is so silly. Okay, so now that we have that, shouldn't have to do this. All right, we'll finish. And what is this sending at the end? All right, it's already building the string for us. Okay. So now we can come here, and this is on button click, and then we loop. So we're building a string player space player count. Player count. Good, good, good. I think that's all we needed. All right. So now we should have some progress. Okay. Come here. Start, shuffle, deal, unpause. Do this, do that. Hit the deck button. Okay, player 1. We built the string. All right, card ID 0. We're getting the top property of the deck of cards. We can't do that. All right, that's why I was confused about why we had that. So if you look, both of our FSMs have this deck of cards array, right? This array is getting shuffled. Our other FSM, we can't do that. We can't just steal, because it's not gonna be the same cards. Wait a minute. On button click, we want to get, we want FSM array get. We want to get an item from the FSM array. Okay? So from this game object, but it's on the deck, the variable name is deck of cards. The index we want is 0 because it's the top card. The type is an object, and the object type is a card scriptable object. So we're going to store the variable as a top card. And then we want to, can I FSM array delete? No. That's going to be a problem. So, we're going to do this. We're going to copy all these, come back to the deck, and we're going to paste these. And then, dealing's complete. We're going to add transition. We're going to finish. Then on the button click, we can go ahead and remove this FSM. I am super hungry. We are going to Come back up here. We can steal it from... I'm a little lightheaded now. Array get. Paste actions before. We want to array get from this deck of cards. It's already been shuffled with the top card. We're going to get it, and then we're going to delete from the deck of cards the top card. Then we're going to get the property ID from the top card. Should be golden. Plain. I hate that I'm creating a tutorial right now that I'd hate watching. 2 hours long, so many errors. I just want it all condensed to only show it works. But some of you like this. So this is for some of you that like this. But I don't know if I'm going to do it this way ever again. All right. Test event, shuffle, deal, unpause. Let's place a card. Deck. Something happened. What happened? So in the deck, we were unable to get the player count of the local player for some reason. Why would that be? Deck, Playmaker. I wanted to get that. I'm just going to call this new player count. I don't know. Local player. I'm going to call it local player count. I'm going to put it in a different variable. It's local. Photo network, get custom property, local player count. When we send it, we're going to build a string from local player count. All right, this thing, shuffle, deal, unpause, place the card, deck. So we clicked, it said, missing photon view on target. We got the player count this time. We array got the heart, 2 of hearts from the deck. We got the property. The card ID is 27. Player string is player 1. We built player 1, comma 27. I didn't need to add it to the end, but that's fine. Then we broadcast take card 2 to all. And here it says give to current player photon view, get view ID, missing photon view on target. That's why that wasn't working, because no, it shouldn't matter. So we broadcast take card 2, and that should be in my hand. Cards in hand. Didn't you all see me name this take card 2? Didn't you see it? Am I losing my dang mind? Card player, Playmaker, cards in hand. Oh, you know what? I probably named it and didn't add it. Dagnabbit, that's so frustrating. Be the end. I want this to be done forever, never to come back and return. Test event, shuffle, deal, unpause, place the 9 of spades, deal it. Still not working. Let's go to player 1. Cards in hand. Take card 2 happened this time. All right, so we know it's this card. So we know the 7 of hearts. We have the 7 of hearts sprite. And so we checked to see if the alpha is 0. If it is, then we know that's an empty. Oh, it might have worked, actually. It might have worked. Card slot 1, 7 of hearts. Nice. Okay. Okay, so why didn't we see it work? We got to go back into card player, Playmaker, cards in hands. We need to set the sprite, and then we need to set color. No, we need to UI graphic, set color, and the one that we want is the next child. We need to set the color to white because it's probably currently yellow, and we need to set the alpha to, is it 1 or is it like 255? 255. Set the alpha 255. Oh, I want to be done. Come on. Come on. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Boom. Shuffle. Deal. Unpause. Let's place a card. Draw a card. Yes! Fingers first. Okay. So what we have done is we have successfully played some cards. So hopefully if I take the 3 of diamonds and I place it, that is not the 3 of diamonds. I'm still done with this tutorial series. You should get the gist now. You should have seen me break things so many times. You should be able to fix them yourself. But I don't know what its problem is now. But I'm done. It's getting some number wrong. Oh, I know why. Because we didn't actually go in and I didn't go this far, and I'm not going to. You can figure this out on your own at this point. If we look at the hand panel, no, where's the cards in hand? Cards in hand, right? So we should only have 7 cards in hand, but now we've got a bazillion of them because I didn't take care of that logic. So that's other logic you would want to do is you'd want to replace. So if I'm putting it in this slot, I want to replace that in the array in the cards in hand because I'm not actually removing them from the array in cards in hand. We can do that. I'm not going to. You see enough examples at this point. I think this is a 2-hour episode. We're finishing this series, never to return. I'm going to go back to some other projects. Let me know in the comments what you'd like me to revisit on some of my other projects. You can always reach out in Discord if you have further questions about this, but I'm done. See you next time.